arm. I get a lot of comments. Make sure you put the safety arm up. Make sure you put the safety arm up. A lot of people don't see it in my videos, but if you look close enough, it's always there. It's always there. So, we got some air leaks back here. I'm gonna try and diagnose where they are. I found one of them the other day when I was on the phone with the viewer, David, and it was this hose right here. It was had worn through, but I'm gonna show you how I diagnose finding leaking airlines and all that stuff. So here's what you need. Next step, you get yourself a bottle, right? Take some dish soap, pour it in there. See how much I got in there? Not that much, you don't need a whole lot. Make sure you get all the air out of here, basically, as much as you can. And then you poke a little hole in the top. Put a wheel chock down. Next thing you want to do, you want to release the air. Right? That's why it's important to put a chock down. When you release the air, it pressurizes all the airlines, right? Until you release that air, I don't think it pressurizes the airlines, at least some of them. So here's what we do. You got it in here, just make sure it's mixed up. You can tell it's mixed because it's kind of yellowish looking, right? So then what you do is you just spray it on stuff. I added a little bit more soap. When you flip the switch in there, it pressurizes the dogs, right? Which opens them up. Okay, so now I take this and I spray the soap everywhere. Can you see the air bubbles coming out? Watch the air bubbles on that thing. Right? Yeah, that thing's leaking everywhere. Look at that. So you just want to get all the air fittings. This is how you check all your air lines. Find air leaks quicker. Soak everything down with soapy water. Soak all the air lines, and then you start activating the air cylinders and all the actuators and everything. Basically what you do is just do everything that requires air, right? So I just flipped the switch to close the dogs. I opened it up, closed it, pressing the brakes. You can see the air, you know, right here, the air PSI, you can see it, right? So I got air pressure on there. You just do all that stuff, and then you go back and you run and you look for air leaks. You look for bubbles, right? Look at this one right here. Boom. See that? That hose is leaking. So you just look. So we pretty much got all these airlines. So then what you do is you figure out all the leaks, and then you just go around and fix them. Yeah, see, this hose is toast. Look at that. That looks like one that's going somewhere. That one's gonna be a pain to replace. I can already tell that. That's all right, we gotta replace it. It's leaking. Leaking out of the hose itself. It's cracked. That's gotta be replaced. That's how we do it, guys. Once you find your air leaks, then, you know, it's pretty simple. You just got to take care of them. You know, undo the hoses, undo all that stuff, and then just replace it. I didn't show you guys a major one. Let me show you one of the major air leaks that we had the other day that I found when I was on the phone with David. You see that air can right there? That's just a service can. And what that does is it supplies air to, it's basically like a pressure thing. It pushes up against the pintle hitch, keeps it from going back and forth. This hose right here is just toast right on the bottom right here. Can't really show you. Yeah, okay. Take a look at that. Take a look at that hose. Finally wore through. Okay, that one was leaking. That other one is just a valve. I can take that valve apart and rebuild it. But it's only for the dogs. It only has pressure when the dogs are released. So I'm not too worried about it. Let's go take this other brake line off that's shot. On your days off, a lot of you guys really want to be owner operators. On your days off, you don't really have days off. You got to be finding stuff like this, preventative maintenance, guys, because what happens is you don't have any days off. That's the biggest. One of my favorite things to do is save like cardboard boxes and stuff, because I'm always working on this gravel, and you know, the roller just does not cut it on, you know, it'll probably just blow off once I get it all the way off. You guys can see what I'm going on here. Come on, stupid. We need to cut that. Cut that zip tie. Yummy. Ah, my arm. Arm is sore. Okay, here it goes. It's gonna blow off here pretty quick, unless the air's gone. Holy smokes, look at that bump on there. I just now seen that. Check that out. See that bump? That's nuts. This hose has already been fixed right here, that you can see that joint right there. So you can only do one of those. You can only fix the hose once like that. And then DOT says you got to replace it after that. So this hose got broke. Then they added this short section. You can just tell this is newer, instead of replacing this whole hose. So now we got to cut all those zip ties, figure out where it goes. This is why I like long sleeve shirts. I got a driver interview at 12. We're gonna drive to the pit. So What do you guys think? Think he'll let me record him driving? What do you guys think? I don't know if he will. I don't know if he will. He might be down for something like that, but he might not. You should never know. So, just get these clippers. Cut these. And then you start feeding it back. We'll probably have to take this joint off because it's probably not going to go through there. All these fittings are reusable. All you need is a new crush piece of brass. And can you flare these out? Yes, you can flare them out. It's very hard without ruining it. It's just easier to buy a new one. The piece you really want to keep is this joint right here. This joint where they connect. That way you have one in your truck. If you ever need to patch something, just keep this joint and keep 2 of those crush rings, and then boom, you can just cut a bad section out if it's short enough, put it back together. So now we got this. So I'm grabbing the hose and shaking it. You can see it's right there. It's in there. It's gonna be a hard one to get at. Here. So we can grab it right here maybe. Something. See how I did that? Leverage, guys. And this, what I'm doing is pushing and pulling. That soapy water on there, really helped out for getting this hose out of here too. You can just see this hose is, some of that's paint that's cracked, but if you look close enough, you can see the hose is cracked too. Loops, that means we're gonna have to go underneath to get that one out. And this is one of those lines, those air lines that has to be done quickly, because here's why. If work comes up, it's got to be done. It's got to be fixed, because the truck's got to roll. You don't let a $100 airline take $1,000 from you. Oh, don't tell me it's that easy. Yeah. Dang, yeah, this hose is toast. Look at that. The outside is peeling off. Check that out. When you got nothing to do, when work gets rained out, that's when you take the time to catch up on repairs. I know a lot of you guys don't like that, but that's the way it goes, you know. That's the only option you really got. Catch up on repairs when it's raining, because there ain't no work. That's when you make your money, is when it's raining. Doing this kind of stuff. If I were to pay a shop, this would probably be like a $300 or a $400 repair just for one hose. Oh no. See what's happening? It's been on there so long, the crush washer is like fused to the center part. Come on. There we go. That's how we do it. Now, like a true owner-operator, let's walk over here. Holy smokes, the bucket has no lid on it. Hopefully it didn't fill up with water. I bought some hose in bulk when I first started my business. Check this out. Brand spanking new. Hopefully it's long enough. Let's see if it's long enough. Oh yeah, we got her, boys. Perfect length. Perfect length. The parts store isn't always open, right? So you got to buy some stuff in advance. You just got to think ahead. You know, what wears out really quick and all the time? Air hoses. They're always rubbing against something. And the quality of air hoses is just junk. They just don't last. They're made out of rubber, guys. They just don't last. So now we need to go get 2 of these fittings. So let's go get 2 of those fittings. So check this out, guys. See all those air fittings in there? Those are things you will need very often. So let's see, there's one of the crush things. Let's see if we can find another one in here. There's one, there's 2. Okay, so we got a few in here, so we're still good on those. Next time we go, we might grab a 2 or 3. And those are for 3/8 line. Take your new airline, right? First thing you do is you shove this on there, right? This goes on. Ta-da! Next thing, this goes on. The way you want this is this way, long and forward, because it gets jammed into that fitting and then it pinches it. The long one, the long side has more of a movement, right? The short side doesn't move as much. So you want the long side facing that way, because what happens is when you tighten it on, it pinches the hose so you can't pull it off. So it can't pull out of the fitting. That's why it's that direction. Okay, I don't know if you guys can even see that, but we're gonna do our best. Push that all the way in. And then that. Okay, there we go. Not moving. Okay. Next step is put some tape over the end and then run it through. Yeah, so tomorrow, bolt trucks, these guys changed their mind at the drop of a hat. Yesterday, they didn't want any of the trucks. Today, they want both trucks tomorrow.
You might just have to let one of your friends know and see if they can.
I have already called them all.
And they're not available.
Not really. I got one friend who says he might have his driver might be able to drive my truck. Well, the problem is, Grandpa, is it takes so long to onboard somebody the right way.
Yeah.
You can't just say, hey man, I need you to drive tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. They have to give you a driver's abstract.
So that you're legal.
Well, I mean, you don't want some idiot driving your truck, you know, your $350,000 truck, if they've had 20 million accidents on their record. you know, so you can't just let anybody hop in it. You have to see their driving record, and then
I saw your video.
There's a lot of stuff. There is so much stuff.
I didn't watch all 2 hours of it yet.
Yeah.